Hello and welcome back to another episode of the CrossFit Harrow podcast, number 76. And today we have Nimesh. Nimesh, thank you very much for joining us. First question that goes out to everyone, as always, is why CrossFit Harrow?
Thank you for inviting. And I remember, I think one of your classmates, Sean.
Okay, yeah.
I used to work with him.
Yeah.
And once we had a bet at workplace to lose maximum weight. And I lost the bet, so I had to buy lunch for everyone.
Right.
So about 6 or 8 of us. And then I was talking to him. I said, he was well built. I said, can you suggest me someone who can give me, some really good exercise guidance, not just, nutrition and everything. And he said, my classmate Lorenzo, he has opened up a place. I think that was in 15 or 16.
Yeah, 2015.
When we had the
first one, yeah.
And that's when I signed up for foundation class.
Yeah, it's good
when
6.
I came in, but I think that's when I changed my job as well. So it was 7 to 7. So there was no time for me.
Yeah.
And so
that was the start. So talk us through like fitness, like growing up and stuff. Was it important to you?
It was important to me, but I grew up in most of my young life in India.
Yeah.
So, and in India, the thing is, while I was growing up in 80s and 90s, the craze wasn't that much. There were not many gyms in my city. I wasn't in the metro city as such.
Okay.
And in school as well. Funny enough, we have this that you either study or you do sports. It's not both together.
Right, that's fascinating.
You won't find many people who are topper as well as...
Is that still, do you think that's still now?
I think so. It has reduced a bit now because people are understanding both. But in my time, definitely. If you are in top 5, which I was always aiming for,
okay,
in the class, study-wise, you don't miss the class for sports.
Fine.
So sports is not something I was exposed to. But yeah, being in India by default, you play cricket.
Yeah.
So we always played cricket, football, because I think since later part of 90s, the football, craze was very much, and we had much more exposure to outer world in terms of cable TV and everything.
Yeah.
So we used to play football,
out in the street,
volleyball,
Yeah.
So, and then we didn't have those t-shirts, so we would write with pen back down.
That's something that you see like in a TV advert. This is like really old school.
We write it and then wear the t-shirts. And
who would you have on the back of yours?
That time, Ronaldo, yes.
The original Ronaldo, yeah.
Brazilian.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so not exposed to loads of sports at school.
No.
But what point in your life did health and fitness become number one? Well, not necessarily number one, but you took more of an interest.
I think when I came here from Canada and starting the family, I didn't realize that the fitness has gone down because, you always do the stuff. But then one time I was doing something and I felt that, it's not that easy. I used to be able to do this so easily. But now it's difficult. And the clothes started to, fit more. And initially I just buy more, bigger sizes. But then I realized, this is not going to end. So I have to do something.
Yeah.
And that's when I started. I've done, I think Virgin Gym when I was in Hendon. And then Pure Gym, all those gyms. Because the time I was looking for was only accessible through those 24-hour gyms.
Right, okay.
So I used to wake up at 4:30, go 5 o'clock, 5 to 6, and then go to my work in Enfield.
Okay.
So that's what I used to do.
And this is because of the work schedule that you needed the gym that early?
Yeah.
And what was work for you at that time?
Work was fine. Work wasn't that much of an issue because by profession I'm a mechanical engineer. So
yeah.
I used to design stuff for, new products development and all that. So it wasn't the stress or anything, but I used to work up to 2-3 o'clock, and then after that my main work starts, which is the kids. So I do the school pickup and then pick up both the girls and come home, and that's when I get more busy, Then I have no time to do anything or to think about anything else.
They take up a lot of your time.
So for that reason, morning if I do it, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because the later I put it off, in the evening time I'm like, I've done enough for today.
Yeah, exhausted.
Might as well have whiskey and sit down.
We'll get on to the whiskey.
Yeah.
So talk us. You mentioned moving to Canada. Talk us through. Was that India to UK to Canada or India to Canada?
No, it was India to Canada.
Okay. And how did that come about?
So while I was growing up, in my whole family, no one has thought of going abroad until one of my elder cousin.
Okay.
When he went to USA, that's when I thought, I should dream. And then in my engineering class, more than 50% of guys were preparing for USA, Australia, GRE, GMAT to go for MBA or master's degree.
Okay.
So I think, it's in a way the company you are in that brings the best out of you. Sometimes.
Yeah, they say that like the closest 5 people.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and if you want to fly, be with eagles. So that's what happened with me. I had people, they were like, we are preparing for GRE, GMAT. And to be honest, I didn't even study English language. The medium I studied was Gujarati.
Oh, really?
So until I started engineering, I was learning English as well as mechanical engineering.
How did you find that?
It was difficult because not only you are learning engineering stuff, you are learning English,
So you would have to, were you reading in English?
Yeah. I mean, English was a subject.
Fine.
So that was fine.
Because then it's processing it, what it means to you, then going back.
It takes more time.
Yeah.
But in terms of English and engineering terminology and all those things, that was a big shock.
Okay.
But then I prepared for it. And sadly that time this 9/11 thing happened.
Okay, so it was around that time, right?
So the visa for everyone was very, very strict. And people were getting rejected. So I said, USA is off the limit. Let me try Canada. So then we found an agent who was preparing us for Canada. So me and one of my friends, we applied for a couple of universities.
Okay.
And then we got in.
So you took your life from India?
Straight from India, nothing whatsoever. First time sat on a plane.
Really?
Yeah.
And how old were you when you...
21,
21.
And just went there. Funny thing is, the guy who was supposed to pick us up, we haven't met him.
Fine.
It's only through school, through emails. This is 2001-2.
So emails aren't they're pretty new in some respects. Yeah.
So in India, we didn't have that much internet cafe, so we used to go internet cafe.
Okay.
And funny thing is, the guy sent his picture. So for us to print and find him at the airport, it only downloaded up to half. So we had kind of his passport size image, if you like, and then.
Did you find him?
Yeah. We eventually found him because he was quite bold. So it was easy.
That narrowed it down.
So it was quite easy, and so he came to pick us up, and then it started from there.
So your studies in Canada were how long?
I was supposed to study for 3 years. I stayed 3 years.
Okay.
My MBA I finished 1.5 years. Then I didn't study. Then because I was getting jobs and the money was good. So I think at that point, and I was very young and naive age, there was no one to guide as such. I was making my own decisions, so I just kept on working.
You noted down that losing your dad at 19. After long, that must have been tough, especially I've experienced losing a parent too, so I can understand that. And then, especially growing up into making those big decisions, like moving across the world, then trying to find out what the right decision is for you. How did you cope with that?
I mean, it was very difficult because we knew he had this illness, and it went on about 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Because it was a kidney failure.
Okay.
And for kidney, you have to go for dialysis. So 3 times a week. And we didn't have car that time, so we used to hire a rickshaw. if it is raining, you put the tarpaulin and everything. 4 hours in the hospital. So most of my engineering studies I did in the hospital.
Really?
Yeah, because I have to sit there. But yeah, so during that time we were mentally prepared that at some stage it is going to happen.
So is it just you, or have you got sisters, brothers?
I have one younger brother.
Okay.
So he is 3 years younger than me. So it's just me and him. We don't have any female sister sibling in the whole family.
Really?
Yeah, that is.
But then you've now got 2 daughters,
yes,
right?
Yes, so I think that is balancing. Yeah.
Is it a big family?
Yeah, we have a huge family.
Yeah.
We are about 15 cousins, but all
male. Wow.
Not one single. So we actually, my mom used to say, you actually don't know how to behave with females. You know how to be gentle with them probably. But yeah, so throughout my dad's illness, I studied there, and he passed away actually just before my mains exam. So I had to take a drop, and then I managed to pass it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think my mom was the biggest support.
Really?
Because she was very strong.
Yeah.
And I think the circumstances made her much
stronger.
More stronger.
Yeah.
And then she was very supportive. She said,
And she would have helped, obviously, through the decisions that you made, although, guided you through that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But maybe not been able to guide you whilst you were in Canada directly.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Canada. And the thing is, the stress and the problems I had, I didn't want to share it with her, because for her son is abroad.
Yeah. And it would add stress, anxiety to her.
So for me, it was just me, whether I make it or not. Any decisions I take, I have to take it and make it right. So yeah, that's what I did basically. But I worked hard, party harder. There is no one to get off.
Yeah, I guess so.
You can come at 3 o'clock in the morning.
So did you live with the guy at you? Did you two live?
Yeah. We were 3 guys.
3.
So we were sharing, and we had different jobs, and so. Mainly we were working in an Indian restaurant, because that's the easiest job as a student you get.
Working in restaurants?
Yeah, waiter. Because that way you get your food sorted first of all.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And then, you are getting money, and on top of that you get the tip.
Well, I think for a lot of people growing up, where you mentioned before that you'd done halfway through halfway through the uni. Yeah. And then you started working, and then decided actually the money was good. Yeah. It's very hard to come to that decision to continue educating yourself when you're receiving that money, because you just see those pound signs. You're like, oh, if I work more, I'll earn more, without realizing that that's not necessarily always the way.
True, yeah. But then when I came here, I studied. I went into IT. Okay. So I did a couple of IT courses. Because learning was always in me. I always liked reading.
Well, growing up, were your parents strict on that education element? Because you said obviously at the beginning.
It's by default.
Yeah.
There is no way I wouldn't say any one person you would meet that they would say my parents were liberal. But mine was not as such strict in a way. Because I was a topper in there, I feel like up to higher secondary, top 3. I was always aiming for that. And my mom was the teacher in the same school I studied.
Oh, okay. So there was even added pressure in that sense.
So there is no way I can do any mischief without her knowing. So I didn't do anything, Or even if I did, she wouldn't know. That is how I always did.
Yeah.
So, but I think, study-wise, it was always the case.
Was it a big transition in terms of culture from India to Canada? Did you find it hard to adjust?
Oh God, it was unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely. Because shocking, the first thing, the Western culture, if you like, the image what we had is from the Hollywood movies.
Yeah, I guess so.
And that is not all.
And that's all you see, because like now you didn't have the things that you do now. Like the internet was not as strong, if at all. You didn't have the access to the social media element. No. It might have been just magazines, potentially newspaper, and then the odd, if you're fortunate enough to have a TV, there'd be an advert of some sort.
Yeah. So it was a big shock culturally. Definitely, it was huge. and especially I landed in Vancouver.
Right.
So I first landed in Vancouver, Burnaby, that's where my campus was, which is absolutely nice and tidy city. Vancouver is one of the most beautiful cities.
Okay.
And
I'd love to go. I haven't been yet.
People are so, nice, very respectful. If you are walking on the streets, if someone sees eye to you, they will always smile, say good morning, good afternoon, whatever. But yes, but then I moved to Toronto, which is like London, India, because metro cities where people come from all walks of
to
life.
Go into one place to work.
And then they are just focused on their life, They want
Just
to
100
work.
miles an hour, head down.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Vancouver really did open my eyes.
So why did you move to Toronto?
It's because Vancouver is mainly a tourist place.
Okay.
So there are not many job offers available.
Fine.
And couple of my friends, they were already in Toronto. And they said, come down here. And the grass is always greener.
Right, yeah.
I was like,
Sure.
Let's go to Toronto. It's, full of friends and everything. So I went to Toronto. And it's a completely different experience, Everywhere you see the trash and...
Well, there's more, I guess more people too.
Yeah, more people as well, and then no one really cares, in terms of, compared to Vancouver, it was really, really different experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. And how long in total were you in Canada?
I think nearly 3 years.
Nearly 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
Nice. Okay. At any point in this, how important was like fitness? What were you doing? Was it not at all? Were you starting to look in Canada? Were you sporty at all?
No.
It was just study, focus on that job.
Study and money.
And earning money.
When money started coming, it was mainly money, Because then I was like, okay, earn, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, clubs, So that was, I think that's when I started. And my alcohol exposure as well
increased.
It increased.
Yeah.
Tolerance increased in Canada. Because
You're almost training to drink. You train to drink more, right?
Because being the place I come from in Gujarat, which is the land of Mahatma Gandhi, and because of that, it's a dry state. So there is no alcohol allowed in Gujarat, in our state.
Wow.
Yeah.
At all?
Nope.
No shops sell it. Nothing.
No. There is. You cannot even say, "Can I have alcohol?"
Wow.
And that's the best part, because when you don't have something, there is a black market.
Yeah.
So we used to get from...
Well, my next question was going to be, I'm sure there was someone, somewhere in that land that was able to get some alcohol, and it probably went for a very costly price.
Yeah. But that time it was not the price,
Yeah.
You are having something which is, you are not supposed to
Yeah.
But yeah, in Canada, the company I worked for, it was a glass company.
Okay.
So out of 70, 80 people, I was the only Indian guy.
Oh, wow.
They were all, people from Caribbean, Russia. So I made friends with them. So
it was quite a multicultural company.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you were...
from India to completely different level I went, and then they would teach me all the bad words in their languages, which is by default.
Yeah, by default, yeah.
Yeah, so when I go with my Russian friends, vodka and all that, my Caribbean friends, they got me into this, Caribbean rum, which has 85% alcohol.
The thought of that already makes me feel sick.
And then Fridays we used to have short days.
Shot days or short days?
No, very short days.
Oh, I thought you meant you had shot and then shot days.
As well. So we go to this Caribbean restaurant.
Right.
And then 13 of us. So first person starts buying the drink for all of us. So you have to wait for all 13 to finish, because you have to buy them as well. So by default, you are going to have at least 13 beers. And then you have the shots. So we start probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow,
until 2, 3 o'clock.
That's a long day.
In the morning, just drinking.
Wow.
But unlike here, they're very strict there.
Yeah?
One time we were all drinking and someone tipped the police. So 8 cars came into the parking lot, blocked all the parking, just to see if you are going to drive.
Your anxiety, your stress levels must have gone...
No, I wasn't driving, so I had friends picking me up and dropping me off. But we all had our cars in the parking lot, but no one can drive. So we started walking. We walk halfway and then we just waited half an hour.
Until they went.
Yeah, and then come back and take the car.
But it's a different life then, wasn't it? It was
Absolutely
completely different life.
And in a good way, touch wood. I have met people from all over the world and they have always been nice.
Do you still keep in touch with some of them?
All of them.
All of them, yeah?
Yeah, luckily, Facebook is there now.
Yeah.
So I went onto Facebook, I searched for them, got their number, so we are on WhatsApp and Facebook. Yeah, wow. That was a good bond I had. When I left, they threw a really big party as well.
It's all part of life experience, though, isn't it? Meeting new people, different cultures,
Absolutely.
Making friends,
yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
Okay, so then into England. Was that something you always wanted to do?
No. England was never on my list.
Never on the list?
No, but when I was in Canada, my plan was study in Canada and then eventually go back to US.
Okay.
That was the aim.
That was the aim.
Most people do that. They study. A lot of my friends, they had already families in USA, but for one reason or the other, they could not go to USA.
Okay.
So what they did, during the holidays, they would take visitor visa, start coming back, and then get married in USA and move. So my plan was eventually get a job and move to USA. But UK was never on my list.
Fine.
But my wife, who was my best friend since childhood. So
amazing.
When we were 8-9 years old.
Wow.
That's when I first met her in one of the summer camps.
So was she with you along the way of you moving to Canada? Did you lose touch?
We were just friends. Everyone thought we were dating, but we both knew that we were not dating. We were very close, just like two guys.
Just very good friends.
Very good friends.
When she tells a story, she says like two women.
Yeah. So absolutely, throughout the years we kept in touch. She studied completely differently, but yeah, I was in Canada, she was in Mumbai. We still kept in touch.
So at what point did you guys loop back round?
Yeah, that is what, and her brother is my best friend as well.
Okay.
But in India, it's a very bad thing. You cannot get close to your friend's sister.
Right.
But this is the other way around because she was my friend first.
Fine.
And then her brother got to know me.
Okay.
And then he became my close
friend. So the rules changed a little bit. Yeah.
And so she was here at that time. She came on working visa.
Okay.
And her brother was visiting her here. So that's when we started talking.
Fine.
Her brother and me, we would talk every day, and he was like, I'll come and visit you, and this and that. And then at some point, he got out of the picture, and we both started talking again. We were in touch, but not as close. And then I realized that, after all the years I've been everywhere, met so many people and everything, this is the person I have very close to me.
Yeah.
I've never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
And probably she must have friend-zoned me, I don't know. But, and it just started. We started talking again and again, and it was like,
So that all looped back round to England?
Yeah. And I was there, so she came to visit me in Canada.
In Canada.
I love cold. She hates cold.
Fine.
So Canada has minus 30, 35, and in the summertime it's plus 30, 35. It's extreme.
Yeah, one from one to the other.
She hates cold at all, For her, anything...
So she visited you in the summer?
Yeah, she visited me in summer, and then we both made this decision. See, first of all, we both are going to work, okay? Now, British pound is always higher than Canadian dollar. So that is an added bonus. Plus, the other thing is, for us to visit from Canada to India, it's a whole lot of preparation because it takes at least 24 hours door to door and it costs double the money.
Of course.
From here, we can make the decision like this.
Yeah.
Go back tomorrow if you want to. And the other thing is, weather is not that bad. Plus, even if you want to do weekend trips, you have Europe,
Yeah, of course.
1-2 hours.
So you guys made that decision in Canada?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, she came to visit me with that option only. She said, we will not be settling into Canada. it has to be UK.
Amazing.
So yeah, we told our parents, and because I was already there, my file was already, I had a file for permanent residency because I didn't know we were doing this so quickly. So we decided to get married in Canada itself, registered marriage, just 3 friends. We told the parents in back home in India, I said, when we come, we'll have proper wedding.
Yeah.
But, this is more practical. Don't take it there. Because, for Indian people, wedding is
huge. 5-day celebrations.
Oh, it's easily 5-10 days. It's just,
I have been to a few Indian weddings, and
it's just their way of showing, how much the kids mean to them.
Yeah. They're huge. They're a big event, massive events.
Yeah, so we just did a registered marriage in, I think, Niagara or somewhere. And then she came back, and we both back.
And you settled in the UK?
We went to India to get married, came back. And I think 2004 or 5, I came here again with 2 bags, 30 kilo each, with just my wife here, and we started everything from scratch.
That is pretty amazing, to be honest. That is pretty amazing.
It takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I can imagine. So then, work-wise, what was the situation of work?
Basically I studied engineering, but like everyone else, when you come from abroad, you don't straight away get the jobs because that experience doesn't count. So I started working with William Hill's.
The betting, yeah.
And then every evening I come home, I smell of cigarettes.
Because at the time, you could smoke in the shop,
And I hated so much. The only good thing was I get to practice my maths, because of the betting. I love maths always. So when we decided, I said, I need to get into my engineering. So we made a big decision. When my first daughter was due, we went to India. We stayed there about 10 months. And that's when I learned more in engineering field, learned a couple of software to design and stuff. I worked with a company, they design boilers, heat exchangers and big stuff. And then I came back and started applying. I decided, no matter what, I will not do anything. If I don't get work in engineering, I will not take the job.
Which is quite a big statement.
Yes, but my wife was earning and she was very supportive.
Okay.
She said,
it's the right thing to do.
Because then the time will go and you keep on jumping.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point, because when there are, and there always will be, people that go, I'm going to get a job because I need money to come in, or I just need to tick over. But then it's very, very hard to then pull yourself out of that, to then go and find something. And there are still to this day, and there always will be people that are in jobs that are unhappy.
Yeah.
And they will do that because they are scared of that leap of faith.
That comfort zone is there.
That comfort zone.
Yeah, so for me as well, when I started this engineering job, the first time the factory was in South Harrow. So it was just 10-15 minutes journey for me. It was good. I used to design stuff for cake industry. And again, when I started, I think it's probably me, but within 6 months I'm like, I need something more. I'm not getting that kick out of it. Because I got used to it. If you ask me to design something, I can easily design within a week. Rather than my previous person who used to take 6 months because they used to hand draw. But I knew the software, so I can do it straight away.
Yeah.
And then this thing came in, I'm like, I cannot work for anyone else. Because when you see your senior management, someone, and you think, what they have that you don't, that makes them at this position, And
But even that is also interesting, because when you're, in my experience, or I talk, when you're looking at someone because you think that they're in a certain position, and if they're in an employed position, you think, oh wow, they must be on X amount of money.
Yeah.
They have a great lifestyle, maybe dress very well or whatnot, but not realizing that actually that's not. It's where you set your levels. You set your tiers. That could be the pinnacle for someone. I want to be senior management, I want to earn my 55 or 60k, whatever it might be, and then that's me done. But actually, when you look at yourself and go, well, actually, I'm worth more than that, and I want X, Y, and Z, not even financially, but like free. I think a lot of us in our lives want freedom of time.
Yeah.
You want your time back. We'll never get more time, but you want to claim as much time as you can.
Yeah.
And that's why I think people often go, well, actually, it's a very ballsy decision. I'm going to stop working for someone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start something that I want to do because it's my terms.
Because the thing is, when you work for someone, you always going to be working for them, and you are, as far as I know, you are a replaceable entity for them.
Of course.
As long as they have the need, they will have you.
Yeah. Well, no one's irreplaceable. No one's. But there are two types of people, though. For me, there are two types of people. There are people that were born to process. They're very good at being told what to do.
Yeah.
And there are others that have the creativity and imagination that can go and do their own.
Yeah.
And people can fall into both.
Yes.
People can fall into both. But you just have to identify as an individual which category that you're in. Because a lot of people believe that they are the creative side. But actually, fundamentally, they need to be managed or told X, Y, and Z. You need to do this on that day, and do think the grass is greener, but not always.
Yeah, but I think again, someone at my workplace, they told me that, you are because I am a Leo, he said, you are a Leo, and I am surprised that you are comfortable taking orders from your senior person, because, we all knew that they didn't have that much capacity. They were there because when the company was there, they were there from the beginning.
Yeah, and some people are.
Because of the longer period, they got the senior position.
Some people are just in positions because of who they know, not necessarily what they know.
Exactly.
And that's in all companies, all walks of life, anything.
And for me, all my friends are business people. Back home in India, here, everywhere. I was the only one, working for someone.
At that time,
Yeah. So they always were like, no, you must do something on your own. I said, I don't have the capital. It will fall into place once you make up your mind. And my friend from school, he earns more than anyone earns here. He earns that much more than that in India. And he always told me, I said, you come from a business family, so you have that knowledge passed on to you. And which is a good thing, because what we learn from books, they get naturally.
Yeah.
They have this from their childhood built into them. They don't even know that they have it, but it works for them. Business.
Yeah.
And for 10 years while I was working, this was on my mind. I need to do something for my own. But then you have kids, you have a mortgage, and one thing after the other, it always stops you at some point.
But see, I watched a video by. I've said this we've spoke to a lot of people about this, and probably in other podcasts, that there's a video by a comedian called Steve Harvey, and it's Jump. Mm-hmm. The video is called Jump. It's on YouTube. It's about 6 minutes long. I recommend anyone to watch it. And one of the things that he says, not obviously word for word, but whether you've got bills or you don't, something like, you're still going to need to jump. You still need to take that jump, because you're going to have to pay for something, whatever it might be, whether you do take the jump or you don't take the jump.
Yeah.
So it's worthwhile in taking the jump and for most people, taking the jump and finding out. Some people are afraid of failing.
Most people.
Most people. But actually, failing teaches you, and by failing you win. Long term, you win. If you learn the lessons. If you don't learn, then that's on you.
It's always the case, because a lot of people say that he or she is an overnight success. It's never the case.
No.
You are only seeing the success. You never see how many times they have failed.
People only see the tip of the iceberg, and even, we're still, in 2000, we're in 2021, but that still is the case. That and unfortunately, in my experience, I find it is the younger generation that don't understand that actually, in order to get that success overnight, it's actually taken 25 years.
Yeah.
And this also relates to fitness.
Yeah, absolutely.
People do think, that person is in great shape. What do? They train 3 times a week and they eat fucking packet of crisps and whatever. It's like, well, no, it's taken 25 years or 10 years of fitness, of constant repetition, constant commitment that allows them to have that flexibility. And they don't do that every single day, but they will do it for a period of time in their life.
Yeah.
But it gives them flexibility.
No, that is what I tell my kids, because I think people here, they get everything ready.
Yeah. It's ready, available.
Yeah. And I think someone did say that, we don't have to tell the kids, you can do anything you want. You have to tell them, unless you put that effort in, you cannot have everything you want.
Yeah.
It's the effort, the discipline, the focus. You need to have all of this. You cannot just...
They're hard lessons to learn along the way. And I guess when we were that age as well, we didn't really understand that. And I don't know what it is, but there just comes a point where it clicks. And then you decide, actually, I've either want to do this, I've learnt from that, it registers. And you start to understand things in a different light.
Yeah.
But you were in the same job for 10 years, wanting to juggling all this, and had that at the back of your mind. And then you decided to take the leap of faith and start something on your own.
Yes.
Talk us a little bit more about what you've started.
So basically, I am one of the dealers of a shipping company. It's a shipping company franchise. So we are like, the comparison website of shipping, where you have all the DHLs, UPS and everyone. So from UK market to internationally, 200 plus countries, we provide services. So we are like a broker.
Okay, so I want to sell something. I go online, I look for the best rate to send something abroad.
Yeah.
You'll pop up, I click, I send to you, you send.
But in a different way.
Yeah.
So we are not like online companies. We have the added benefit of personalized account manager.
Okay.
So I work with local companies.
Fine.
I am their first point of contact. So what I do is I go to them, I speak to them and see. Not everyone has the same rate. Yeah. We work mainly with the people who do not have huge amount of shipping, because then the carriers don't look after them well.
Yeah.
If you are doing 5 a month, not a £50,000 a year salary manager will come and visit you.
Yeah.
So that's when we come in, we say, okay, you are doing this, we will still give you a better rate. But on top of that, if you have any problem with your shipment, you don't call and stay online for 10-15 minutes to the carrier. You speak to me and I'll handle it for you. And we have outsourced that work as well. So we have about 50 people who does that job. They stay on the...
So it's a very personal touch.
Yes.
It is actually very frustrating when your parcel goes missing or it's not come and you have to be on hold.
It is going to go miss. It will get damaged. That is by default, that's what I even tell, I said, do not expect me to say it's going to be fine. It's not going to be fine. And that's why we are here.
Yeah.
And my own parcels get missing. And people think, because you are the agent. I said, I am the agent, but the driver doesn't know who is carrying my parcel. One of my shipments was supposed to go in Wales. It went to Sweden. And those things happen, but that's when we come in. And we give this personal touch. We provide stationery stuff.
The amazing thing is like working with smaller companies, because even for here, I looked into to shipping. And actually, I know we briefly spoke, and I haven't continued to go through it yet, just because of priorities of the gym. But with the coffee and stuff, when I was looking into that originally, to send X amount of parcels, and it would have obviously been a small amount, was like there was a minimum supply. Then there was the weight element, that if it's a certain weight, it falls into another category. Then it goes up. Which it's just for those small companies, it is absolutely ridiculous.
And especially when you are a small company, you are wearing multiple hats.
Yeah.
You don't want spending your time on the phone looking for the parcel.
Yeah.
It's easy for you to just email, okay, Nimesh, check this, what's happening with it. Then we do that for you and come back, okay, they need this information, the address is not right.
Yeah.
Can you provide the correct address information? And then, so it helps. It helps businesses. So
this job gave you, it was the flexibility to get that time back, to be able to improve other, people have a problem, you have the solution. You're able to deliver that process.
Yes. And on top of that, it helps me with my work-life balance, because for me, it was always the priority to spend as much as time with my kids.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons is because I didn't have that opportunity to spend time with my dad.
Yeah.
I had this, when I grow up, we will drink together and stuff, which I didn't get that. So for me, I made up my mind that, I will create memories with my kids, no matter what. So that is the priority, and the work. They made it flexible for me. So that is the reason I carried on for a while. But then at point I thought, I have to jump. Because when I grow older, I will be talking about this, that, I wanted to do it, but I didn't do it, and it will be too late. So that's when I just...
That is an amazing way to look at it, I guess. You maybe not having as much opportunity as others to spend time with your dad, that you're creating that for your children. That's amazing. Okay, you've written down that you're planning to hopefully take motorbike license.
Yeah.
What's the inspiration behind that?
See, growing up in India, motorbike was the standard thing.
Yeah.
And car and all those things, it's a kind of luxury and you use for family. So I had a motorbike, Yamaha. I loved it, but not the family, because I had so many accidents.
Is the license the same over in India?
No, it's different.
I would imagine you might know the person taking the test, and
I will find out at some point. But so in India I used to, I've had so many accidents. One time I had screws in my body.
Wow.
I went under the bus. Very bad. So yes.
And it still hasn't put you off to do your license.
But see, the thing is, with India the traffic is bad. Here you have some sort of that thing. The good thing is you have really good traffic system and everything, but yes, still it has to go through my mom and my wife, because they are not really keen on it. But I have decided I will take the lessons. I think it costs about nearly £1,000.
Yeah, I think you can do two ways. I thought I had done a basic bike license. It is not, fun's not the right word, but it is a very different experience to driving a car.
Yeah. But for me, I've always driven the motorbike. I used to do this one way,
the wheelie,
and all those things when I was younger. And when I went to Himalayas, when I went to Leh Ladakh, we had a motorbike we rented, and we went on there, 20,000 feet high. So I think it is there. I think probably I'm just thinking now that I didn't have those things in my younger years because of the family.
Just responsibilities as well, yeah.
So maybe now is the time, why not just do it before I'm too old? I'll never be old, so I can train my kids.
Well, I suppose the element of health and fitness, as that's crept up the ladder,
yes, absolutely, and that is what I want from the fitness.
Yeah.
That I want to be fit, to run with my kids, even their kids. Just stay fit. I am in my 40s. I never admit it to my kids that.
They think you're 21.
I always say, I'm around 20. But so I want to keep fit. I'm not going to have six-pack now, or not. That is not my aim. I just want to be fit, good shape, do bit of cardio, which I'm not very good at, probably you all know. But so
it's more than just the aesthetic of fitness. It is practicality of linking it back to your family life, to your children.
It's just, the thing is, CrossFit gives me that, unlike other gyms. Because the other gyms, I would just go, do some treadmill, look at the weights. If I see some free weights, just lift and go home.
Yeah.
Here, the main thing is, I just need to have one motivation to come from home to here.
It's the hardest part.
Yeah, and then once I'm here, I know no matter what, I will be doing the whole workout.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, because people say it's not people say motivation is the key. It's not. Discipline.
Yeah.
And CrossFit brings that. All the coaches, you guys just push everyone in a good way that you finish the workout.
Yeah.
I hate running, but I choose the workouts where the running part is there, even though I am the last one. Everyone is flying like a cheetah, like a lamb.
But I guess it's just you've got it sounds like you've got a very good balance, which a lot of people don't. And we try to give that message to people that we get one shot at this life, and it is about having that balance. And if you don't have that six pack, it doesn't matter. No. And if you don't have this, as long as you're having fun, you're enjoying life on both sides. You're enjoying the physical element of the challenge, but you're also enjoying life outside the gym. So if you want to go for a whiskey, you want to go for a pizza, you can. But it is the discipline to know when maybe enough is enough or when to stop, but not to look back and go, I wish I wasn't chasing a six-pack when I was younger.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is absolutely right.
Like, it is important. The fitness isn't, or your health is important in terms of what you consume, but it's balance.
If you have everything, and your health is not there, what you gonna do?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And rightly, people have said health is wealth.
Yeah.
Because if you have all the money, and I remember one of the India's richest person, someone asked him, I said, what would you do if you were to start from scratch? Now he is a billionaire, and he said, one thing I would have done is put health as a priority while I was building my empire, because now I'm a billionaire. But I have problems, my knees hurting, I have back pain.
And he can't enjoy life as much
and
as...
now, those things you cannot reverse. You know, you cannot fix those things now. And it is too late for him. So, it is a good advice that,
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Health is always a priority. It should be.
Yeah, it should be. And I think the whole COVID situation made people realise they started putting their health a little bit... They started putting their health first because they didn't have a choice. It was... I'm going to sit at home doing my work, and then people getting bored, like, right, I'm going to go and exercise. And then one thing led to another. They started exercising. Maybe they started making better decisions on food. Some people did. Yeah. Some people didn't. Some people are still finding that stuff out now. Some people started to look into like the meditation side. Some people started to look into the yoga element, the holistic approach. Everyone's different, but it's finding that balance for the individual.
Yeah, I personally like meditation.
Do you actively? Yeah, you meditate.
I do that meditation because from my childhood, my mom, being a teacher, she was always very strict. So we never had the opportunity to lie in for a longer. Even if it's a vacation, holidays, 7 o'clock maximum you can sleep in.
But I think that's a good thing because as you get older, you're thankful for that because it gives you that word that you used before, discipline. It gives you that discipline. So no matter what day it is,
no matter what, even if it's a weekend, I am awake. Usually 5 o'clock.
I mean, most people listening to this will be like, "Shit, that's fucking early," but it's the discipline.
But 5 is late for me. I used to wake up at 4:30. But the thing is, for me,
that works.
I sleep 8:30, 9 o'clock. You would never see me after 9 o'clock. That's how I built into.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, when my kids were younger, my wife, we used to take turns to put them to bed. Most of the time when it's my turn, I am fast asleep and they come out. And then my wife will come back and say, you were supposed to put
them to sleep. But the benefit, I guess, in that, waking up very early is that by 7, 8 o'clock, you've done, you've pretty much done half a day.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yes,
that is what
everything's still.
And what I used to do when I used to live in Edgware, even now, I wake up very early. So 6 o'clock in the morning, I go to Colin de Lasda, where everything is nice and lined up for Saturday. I finish my grocery, go have English breakfast, come home, 7:30, no one is awake, make breakfast for them, and that's when my day starts.
Yeah.
Everything is done, fuel and everything, grocery. By the time they wake up, I am ready. It gives me, really good satisfaction.
Otherwise, by the time you do all that, it would then be like midday. 1 o'clock. You're like, well, half the day for you is...
There are queues. I think most people don't like queues.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the best thing that, I finish everything before. Even if we are going on a holiday, I tell them, we'll start early. So like we were going to Edinburgh. We said, we'll start at 4:45. Just to give them an idea.
Yeah.
So the kids, I said, you can sleep in the car. Just stay in your pajamas.
Yeah.
And then I'll drive. So by the time 7-8 hours, the traffic is building up, I'm already there.
Yeah, they've got the whole day. But I guess it's, people get accustomed to that whole 9 to 5 lifestyle and the kind of message around that of live for the weekends. get that Friday night. I mean, it's slightly changed a little bit because of the whole COVID situation, that there was no weekend. It was a 7-day, or it was like an 18-month working week. But, you know, you often find that people will sacrifice their health in exchange for those late nights, those parties, or not necessarily parties, but booze and everything else, just for a few hours of fun on a Saturday, which would then lead in, or Friday, which would lead into Saturday. Come Sunday, exhausted for the week ahead, and then just to wait and do that all over again. It's just making use of your time, isn't it?
It is. I mean, for me, I can never stay late. But my family, they love watching late night movies, so they force me. I'm
within 15 minutes.
I'm fast asleep on the sofa. They leave me there.
To be fair, I'm very simple. I could fall asleep anywhere, anytime.
For me, it makes more sense. Wake up very early, finish all my work, you know, take shower. Start your day. Sometimes even I come to gym. By that time, I have finished most of my admin work. Then I feel like, I'm not feeling too fresh. I take shower and then come to gym, then go home and take shower again. And my wife was like, why are you doing this? I said, I need to feel fresh.
Of course.
And you know, it gives me that freshness. When I am here, I see everyone just rolling out of the bed.
There have been times, where...
And for me, I know, because this is the time...
Someone's hair is still sticking up at the back, or...
This is the time I have dedicated for my fitness. You know, this is my time. And I want to do that. So even weekends, I go out for walks. So weekends, I call it
your time.
Saturday especially, and I call it a slow Saturday. Everything do very slowly. Because remember, someone said to me, there is a book called Taking Things Slowly. Because we are so busy in our own life. We are always in what you call autopilot mode. So you just go, come back. You know, you have never noticed how many trees are there on your street. You know,
the leaves fall on the ground. How many? The people that are around.
You know, I might sound crazy, but
no, you
these
don't.
These are the things when
you're absorbing that in that moment.
So what I do Saturday, if I'm doing the gym, I do the gym. Go home, relax, just sit in my garden. You know, take my time. I don't rush anything.
Listening to you say that, like, you know, getting in touch with nature a little bit, like hearing the wind in the trees, hearing the birds and stuff. It does bring you into that moment itself.
Absolutely.
It's a very calming and soothing time. And you're right, we do live in autopilot. I don't know if that's just London, if that's just England. There are obviously main cities or countries that are like that.
Cities always is the case.
But you're right. It's also a bit of appreciation. Of the things around you.
And enjoy, you know, because at the end of the day, you are doing all these things, you know. See, if you look at it, even the dogs and the animals, they get to eat food twice a day, you know. So for you to have something different than them, these are the things, you know, you need to enjoy. And make the most of it while you can. So.
Fan of whiskey? I don't know much about it, but you're a fan.
Well, I am. As I said, you know, growing up in India, where there was no alcohol available. So for us, the first concept was whiskey was something very bitter, makes you high. That's all we knew.
Is that like in India? Is that whiskey is like, because in fact a lot of Indians do drink whiskey, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you get exposed to those things because beer and stuff, it doesn't count as manly as such. I don't think manly is the word.
When
I was growing up, my uncles, when they would drink, they would sneak in, you know, they would like, have one sip.
Whiskey's hard to drink.
But we, at the age, you know, younger age, they would like, have a sip. And then you get into it.
I can smell it. Right now I can smell it. It's making me gag.
We did not even have good brands, you know.
Well, now, is it Johnny Walker, Black Label, Gold Label?
That is premium.
That's premium.
We were drinking, I don't even knew, there were not even names on it. You know, He-Man or something. Maybe
I don't know.
In their backyard, it tastes so bad.
But that was the drink.
The only thing is you are drinking whiskey. So when I left India, when I moved to Canada, that's when I knew that, you know, there are different types of whiskies, single malt, this, that, then Crown Royal. That's what I found in Canada.
Okay.
Then I think most Indians, when they test Western whiskies, JD is their go-to choice.
Oh,
I hate it.
I have got.
I started with JD, but I hate
That's
it.
probably why I hate whiskey. I won't tell the story, but I've got a horrible story about.
But now, yes, Johnny Walker Black Label, Double Black.
But it's a very short amount. It's like what, 25?
Yes. I think you have to.
Drink it in small doses.
Yeah, you can't just go. I mean, there was a time if I used to sit with my couple of my friends, 2-3 of us would finish one bottle.
But is this a drink? Well, as I know, it's a drink that you would indulge, but you would drink slowly.
Yes.
It's still that it's not a case of like bang, next one.
In India, it's bang. If you drink slowly, it's. The circle I grew up in, it was like.
It's frowned upon if you drink so.
So it's more manly, big, large. They call it Patiala bags.
Okay.
And then just drink, and but it's different, completely different. Whiskey drinking in India, you cannot compare it here.
Fine.
It's completely different.
You've got down that one of your goals is to climb Kilimanjaro.
Yes, that is something. I think, out of the big mountains, I think that is one closest to where I can do, because I've been to Himalayas, I haven't gone to, but it's very hard, it's very difficult. You are fighting with the nature and a lot of other things.
What's made you want to do that?
When I went, I think a couple of years back, I went to Leh Ladakh, which is the Himalayan cities.
Okay.
25,000 feet high. The beauty, the nature, and the meditative atmosphere I felt there. I've never felt anywhere
really
else. It's so, like what you said, so tranquil, everything is nice, peaceful. You just enjoy the surroundings.
What's the climb of Kilimanjaro? Do you know?
I think climb is about 7 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not easy, and that's why I think CrossFit might.
Yeah. There will be definitely a lot of elements of it that you can take into it. Yeah.
So it's about 7 days. Because a couple of my friends, they are from African continent, so they said, we will set you up with, and it's about 2,500-3,000 pounds.
But what an experience, though. What an experience. You would pay that money for that experience.
Absolutely, yeah. And that is one of my. I want to have something to look forward to. I always try and keep something that I've done this. Okay, let me do this. Yeah. And again, the bike thing, I'm thinking it's one of my reward to myself.
Yeah.
Because if I achieve my sales target by next year, then I'll have the bike. Even with the gym, I'm doing the same thing. I say if I finish 12 lessons in a month, I'll buy another pair of shorts.
It's a very good way to look at it.
Yeah, because that way it keeps me going.
You're rewarding yourself with good behavior in some respect.
Yes, it is mainly there. Kilimanjaro, of course, it's not an easy thing to do, but I have set it up that if I reach up to this level, then I'll do this, and then that is what. Because being in my own business, I have no one to tell me, you need to do this. I have to discipline myself. If I don't do that, if I probably start watching Netflix all day, no one is going to tell me.
Yeah.
But come end of the month, when the bills need to pay, that is when.
Yeah.
So it's being that determination and focus.
I usually ask, at the end of the podcast of goals for the next 6 to 12 months. We've gone on some personal goals of Kilimanjaro and the bike. Is there anything in your personal life that you want to achieve in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, I mean,
or even fitness-wise. Yeah, fitness-wise.
I always write this down.
Okay.
Whenever I start something, there are 5 or 6 areas in life: social, career-wise, fitness, financial, family, spiritual.
Okay.
So I have all those written down.
Amazing.
And I keep,
updating them.
Yes, and keep track of it. So in terms of fitness, that's when the fitness goal came in. Because I was looking into one of my old diaries. I used to write diaries. My wife doesn't know. Now she will know. But So I think I wrote it down that I want to be at certain weight. But during the lockdown, I actually put on a lot of weight. So that is why I need to have these goals written down. And if you write it down, it makes
it real.
Yeah.
Makes it real.
And they say, if you write it down, you are more likely to achieve.
Yeah, it makes it actionable, like it's there in writing. It's a commitment.
With CrossFit, I want to lose at least 10 to 15 kilos. And
because you've actually lost quite a lot since you first started.
Yes. And even when I was doing that, 3 months I lost 9 kilos.
Wow.
But that time I was, well disciplined and everything. So with CrossFit, mainly I want to do is, able to do pull-ups, double unders, and run. I hate running. I mean, even if the dogs were chasing me, I wouldn't run.
You'd say, "Here, bite me. I'll take me."
But yeah, so those things I want to improve on in terms of that. Sales, and I want to, for my business, I have
projections and stuff and targets.
Some goals which I want to, I've broken down from December to now and all that. And family, spending as much time as possible with the kids.
Yeah.
So most of the time I am with my daughters. Weekends, by default, weekends are for them. So, and since childhood I have done that, probably more than my wife. When they were younger, I used to go, the morning shows for kids. They used to have Junior AM,
BBC, Junior, or Junior,
and all those movies I watched. I can't believe I watched them, but I watched all of them with them.
Just to spend that time with them.
Just to spend, and I'm learning things with them. Their lingo right now. They're on Instagram and all that, and I'm just trying to learn all those things so that I can.
It's relatable to them.
And then they feel that Dad is there for us. Sometimes they say, Dad, you are just like one of our elder brothers. You are so close to us, which is a good thing, because I never had that, and I will be able to provide that.
That's amazing. Nimesh, it's been absolutely amazing speaking to you and hearing your story. Thank you again. Guys, run out of time, and we'll see you next week.